I'll tell you about the time Pa stood firm against a ruthless gang of outlaws and how we nearly lost everything. Before we start, if you enjoy prairie stories and Wild West adventures, please like, share, and subscribe. We post new episodes regularly, and your support helps keep these stories alive. The night started quiet. Too quiet, in retrospect. We were camped at the edge of the valley, just past the tree line, where the prairie shifted into deep ravines, and shadows seemed to move on their own. The sun had dipped low, casting long bands of fire across the snow, and the cold came in fast. Ma was stirring beans in a pot over the fire, while Annie was wrapped in a blanket, humming to herself. Pa sat sharpening his knife, his eyes distant, as if he was listening for something. I was stacking kindling when I heard it. Hoofbeats, slow, heavy, purposeful. Pa froze. Then came the voices, low, slurred, and mean. Laughter that didn't sound joyful, it sounded cruel. I'll never forget how it scraped the air like a saw on bone. 6 riders emerged from the darkness, their silhouettes glowing red from the firelight, their rifles slung loosely and their faces hidden beneath wide hats and unshaven beards. Their leader, a tall man with a scar down his cheek and a patch over one eye, dismounted first. "We're just passing through," he said, though the way he looked at Ma and Annie made my stomach twist. "Thought maybe you'd be hospitable, share what you've got." Pa stood slowly, calm, unmoving. He didn't flinch. "We've got little," he said, "but what we have, we earned." The man derisive laughter laughed, the kind of laugh that says, "I take what I want." "You can earn your place in the ground too, friend." The others dismounted, one by one, surrounding us. I could see the glint of steel, the tension in Pa's shoulders, and the way Ma subtly placed herself between Annie and the men. I wanted to move, to help, but I was just a boy, or so I thought. The leader reached for the wagon, poking at our supplies with the butt of his rifle. "Reckon you got more in here than you're saying. Why don't we take a look?" "No," Pa said. That one word cut through the air like thunder. The outlaw turned. "You got a death wish, old man?" Pa didn't move or blink. He dropped his knife in the dirt and stepped forward. "You want what's in that wagon," he said. "You're gonna have to take it from me." And just like that it began. The leader swung first, a cruel arc of a punch that Pa ducked. Then came fists, boots, chaos. Pa fought like a man possessed, strong, deliberate, and unmoving. He knocked one of the men flat with a backhand and dodged a rifle stock aimed at his head. But there were too many. 2 men grabbed Pa from behind, dragging him to his knees. Another struck him in the ribs, again and again. I could hear Ma scream. Annie cried. The gang laughed, like animals circling a wounded bull. And then something inside me snapped. I didn't think, I moved. I grabbed Pa's hunting sling from the side of the wagon, the one I'd practiced with in secret every evening after chores. My heart thundered as I loaded a stone, pulled tight, and swung. Crack! The stone struck one of the men clean in the temple. He dropped like a sack of flour. The others turned, stunned. I launched another. Crack! A second outlaw fell back, howling, blood streaming down his face. I moved fast, darting through the dark, my small size working in my favor. I hit another in the knee. He buckled, and suddenly the fight turned. Pa surged up with a roar, breaking free. He punched the nearest man square in the jaw, sending him sprawling. Ma tossed him the knife. He caught it mid-air. The leader tried to draw his pistol. Too slow. Pa was on him before he could fire, driving him back into the snow. The pistol flew. I scooped it up and aimed, arms shaking, right at the man who had threatened my family. He froze. Everyone froze. Breath steamed in the cold air. Silence. My finger on the trigger. Pa stepped in front of me slowly and took the gun from my hand. "No blood tonight," he said, sternly, "unless it's yours." The outlaws gathered what was left of their pride and their broken teeth, dragging their wounded with them. They didn't speak again. They just mounted and rode off into the night. That was the night I stopped being a boy. Not because I fought, but because I stood up when it counted. Afterward, Pa sat beside me by the fire, holding a cloth to his bleeding lip. He didn't say much. He didn't need to. He just looked at me, proud, tired, and maybe even a little surprised, muttering with a half smile. "I guess you were paying attention all those times I said to be ready," he muttered with a half smile. "I was," I whispered back. And I'll never forget it. The night the outlaws came and left with less than they expected. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share it with someone who loves frontier tales, and subscribe for more Wild West adventures. Feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. Next time, we came across something strange in the snow. Tracks too big for a man, and a silence that didn't belong. What we found next still haunts me, but that's a story for another fire.